Ignorant middle school me, I really didn't know anything about climate change. I never concerned myself much with the environment. But the problem here is, no one else had concerned themselves with it either. And now, 3 years later, all I see is other teenage girls and bought-out influencers posting about fires, turtles, and Greta Thunberg on their Instagram story. And now, don't get me wrong, Greta's an international treasure, and she's doing amazing things. But Instagram stories are not enough. And I know using a metal straw is great, and a reusable tumbler really just aids the environment. But that also sadly isn't enough. The carbon footprint of all these solutions are still tremendous, which brings me back to the recurring idea that everything society has to offer, no matter how many good intentions it has, still has no significant effect on stopping or de-accelerating climate change. So, the UN has officially announced that we have 11 years until climate change is fully irreversible. 11 years. Take a moment to think about that. 11 years is in the same amount of time we are now from the 2008 economic crisis of the United States. 11 years, as in for reference, this is me as an 11-year-old. Concerning, I know. So, if we have 11 years, we're talking about an estimated time of 15 to 20 years before most of the world can't really economically afford to live with such unsustainable and unattainable resources. So if I'm 15, that means I can go to college, I can get a degree, and then what the fuck am I supposed to do with this degree? I'll either be worried with something else, or I'll probably be dead. So forget about having kids, forget about your Stanley Hudson, Florida retirement plan. Forget about having a nice afternoon coffee with Robert Downey Jr. We'll all be dead. Even more concerning is that the government isn't really doing anything. The government of the United States, China, and Russia, arguably the top 3 most influential governments in the world, are also the top 3 most polluting countries in the world. And the problem here is, as it always has been, money. The world is motivated and fueled by money, including every single one of us in here. And the government is always and will always be greatly affiliated and influenced by big corporations. For example, Chevrolet Motor Company is the most incredible source of money for the United States. It supports the economy on another level. But Chevrolet Motor Company is also the 3rd leading cause of ozone pollutants in the world. Meat, yes, just beef from a cow, is a whopping $76.4 billion industry. And it is a total of 20% agriculture sales in the United States. But 1 pound of beef requires 50,000 liters of water to produce, which means that the United States utilizes an estimated amount of 218 trillion liters of fresh water every single day. Now if you're thinking, I really like In-N-Out though, then consider that about 40% of all food in the United States is simply thrown away. And the Amazon forest literally started burning down to make more room for cattle farming. 16% of the methane in the world is produced by farting, belching cows. Is it really that hard to just eat a turkey burger instead? But, once again, not really our fault, because the government will never do anything about this. Let me reiterate, $76.4 billion. Now, here's the thing. We've all been watching that same National Geographic show where the British guy tells us that the polar bears are dying and the polar caps are melting for like 10 years now. And we all follow that one Instagram account, and we've all been lectured by Bill Nye the Science Guy feeling guilty because our favorite childhood teacher is not mad, simply disappointed. Not mad, but simply disappointed. But no one seems to be doing anything. We're all so concerned, but no change really occurs. No matter how hard we try, no matter how many bottles we try to recycle, no matter how many pieces of styrofoam we pick up on our trip to Acapulco, nothing will get done until we revolt. Nothing will get done until we truly, and I mean 1870s-style marriage, commit to this. I, sadly, am part of the generation who got stabbed in the back with the duty of basically saving the world, which every single other generation ruined and then stopped, dropped, and rolled away from. Now, I don't want to leave you feeling guilty and with near-apocalyptic stress, so I kind of want to give you some ideas as to how you can change your habits to aid this issue. And I'm sure you've all heard this before, but so important to this community. Buy less fast fashion. Zara is so cute, but it pollutes literally everything around it. You could eat less red meat, have some more sustainable options instead. And I know the fish are dying too, and growing vegetables also takes a ton of water, but it's a step forward in the right direction. Use as little single-use plastic as you possibly can. Okay, oh, I thought that just turned off. Use as single-use plastic as you possibly can. Small changes like eating your ice cream on a cone instead of using a plastic cup and a plastic spoon and a napkin, 18 tiny little spoons because you want to try every single flavor there was. And if you're going to use plastic, I beg of you, recycle as much as you physically can. If you're going to use your car, try an electric car, carpool, okay? Small changes you can make in your life to aid this issue or at least alleviate your conscience from the guilt. And I know this is not only going to sound redundant, but almost immediately contradicting. But we need more. Apart from these small changes, we need to do something more. We don't need big change. We don't need monumental change. We need to completely transform the way we act, breathe, eat. We need to absolutely change the way that we think about the environment. Thank you for coming to my talk.